Parkway Diner in Stamford, Connecticut on this Monday, the 30th of December in the year of our Lord 2024. Now, boy, where to start, guys? Like I wanted to say, I was going to talk about Mike Johnson first, but we'll get to him. Don't worry, we will get to him. Meantime, we had the blow up over the weekend over the H-1B visa situation. And just to make the first statement first, I am dramatically opposed to this H-1B visa program. I am in complete agreement with Steve Bannon and others that this thing needs to be kiboshed, deep-sixed, halted immediately. But first, let me get to some other things. Calls to action, go to the Yankee T News website, visit, like, subscribe, tell all your friends. And yes, it is Tell Tong time tonight. Yahoo did a piece that was suggesting that our sophist Attorney General planned on putting up a fight, and in fact, he planned to lead the nation in his fight against Donald Trump over, quote, undocumented aliens and deportations. Well, Mr. Tong, I got to hand it to you. You sure know how to stake out a position for yourself, but I sure get the impression that you forgot a few things. You forgot what happened in Colorado when the mayor made a similar noise. You forgot what happened in Los Angeles when the police chief there made a similar noise. And I believe this also happened in San Francisco. And in all three cases, Mr. Tong, after their bold statements, they had a visit from Mr. Homan, and they completely changed their tone. I fully expect that if you're not a fool, you will do the same, all right? So as in Tell Tong time, it's time for you to get a clue. Deportations will proceed as required, and you will cooperate. If you're to do a poll of the people you hate in Connecticut, you'll find that they're in support of it, and the ones you think you like, too. Okay, also I want to remind you that we are now devoted to following the situation of Tina Peters, the former Secretary of State of Colorado, who's now serving a 9-year term. She was railroaded by the judge, what was it, Matthews? I can't remember. Matthew Barrett, perhaps? I will check his name. But yeah, so she's really being dealt an unfair situation here. And this is a person who, by the way, continues to sit on a huge amount of damning information. So if it ever were to finally get the proper audience and proper review, everything would change. And that's the problem, and that's why we want to stay on Tina Peters' case. Now, as I move on, I just want to share a special thought with you, all right? The special thought has to do with all the strange things that are happening in this world, one of which I will cover tonight, which is related to the other part. As many of you may know, there has been talk of Canada becoming the 51st state. How interesting. Curiously, at the same time that this discussion is kicked up in America, over in China, there's been a kick up in the discussion over China taking back Manchuria and parts of Siberia. This is how bad it is. China would also like Lake Baikal, thank you very much. And if you look on the map, that's a fur way into Siberia. So it sounds to me like Communist China has some real designs on that area. Wouldn't it be weird if there was an expansion of China into Manchuria at the same time Canada becomes economically unified with America? How weird would that be? And yes, of course, we do have to note in passing the now late President Jimmy Carter, who made it to 100. Congratulations. But now, unfortunately, he has passed away. So Biden declared January 9th as a National Day of Mourning for him, and we'll be having all the requisite ceremonies. Okay, on to the main event, ladies and gentlemen. Now, before I get started, I just want to remind you that our hostile, hateful, clueless insect overlords at YouTube have decided that they do not like the word, and it might get bleeped. Oh, wait, hold on. I got to take care of this. This is unfair. So if they try to do this, here we go. Just bear with me, bear with me, bear with me. I can do this. Good. All right. They did not like a short piece that I did on Mr. Musk, who had no problem using this word to insult Americans. Okay, so just in case the algorithms are having a problem, it's this word right here. Okay? Now, hold it up higher. There you go. That word. All right. Mr. Musk used it, got out into the public. We saw it everywhere. When I used the same word in a video to bring attention to the silliness of his argument, I got dinged. They actually edited part of my video. Well, we'll be seeing if they edit this too. And don't worry, we have a little friend named Rumble. By the way, Rumble got $775 million from Tether, so Rumble's going to be an even bigger thorn in the side of YouTube, to which I say good. But yes, so let me just get to what I want to say in case, or let me try it this way. The title is, When a Genius Makes Arguments. All right? So, remember again that he used this word to describe Americans, okay? He did it in offensive terms. He did it in a way that was meant to insult everybody in America. However, there's another dimension here. I wish to offer up, as great as Mr. Musk is, as significant as all the things are that he's done, there are times when Mr. Musk might show a lack of judgment. And I would like to offer for your consideration, ladies and gentlemen, one of those examples. We have the link up in the promo piece here. I suggest you go see it. And of course, I'm referring to that wonderful moment in 2018 when Joe Rogan was interviewing Elon Musk, and they decided to share a blunt. So there you go, the chairman of Tesla smoking pot. Are we supposed to be okay with this? I'm not. And so they're making jokes, and he's kneeling, he goes on. Okay. Obviously, this, ladies and gentlemen, besides the obvious problems with that moment in that video, okay, is the state of mind that leads you to think something like that is okay to begin with. Newsflash, it's not, okay? You have all these fools continuing to argue that something like pot is really, quote, harmless, and I couldn't disagree more, okay? Same problem here in terms of making his H-1B visa arguments. So let's be clear. So when this word gets used, when I say it's an argument, right? When it's a argument, see if you can see it there. Okay. There is the problem of incompleteness and ignoring the obvious when you make that kind of an argument. And those are certainly two of the features in his defense of the H-1B visa. Okay? Now, the other part that's a problem is that he has offered an apology, and he's tried to backpedal on his views, as well as Vivek. Vivek, part of this, but not so much. Okay, newsflash, Mr. Musk, your proposals are rejected 100%. We have several non-negotiable items which are to be established as far as this H-1B visa program is concerned. Complete and immediate elimination, cessation of the program, the rehiring of every person who was displaced with this program, plus you're going to pay back the money to all these people, the money that was taken away from them because you decided you wanted cheaper labor through the H-1B visa program. All right. There's a lot more to say here. There are 2 points I want to touch on, and then move on to the other things. Okay, if you're paying attention, Laura Loomer, has brought up a couple of concepts. Now, you've probably heard the term techno-feudalism before, but there's another term now that's beginning to gain currency, and that is called dark enlightenment. You have a group of people who have promoted the concept of dark enlightenment. to put it in the simplest terms, the call for a form of government based upon this concept of dark enlightenment is a return to pre-democratic societies, okay? In other words, they are thinking in terms of what they see as a divine right for technocrats. It smacks of Plato's philosopher king, and yes, and so the H-1B visa system is the backbone, okay, of this concept of dark enlightenment. It's, so you understand it. Now, unfortunately, apparently one of the people who supports this idea of dark enlightenment supposedly is J.D. Vance. I think he's going to figure out very quickly that he has to rethink his position on that. In the promo, I write about a guy named Curtis Yarvin, who is I would call him a sort of informal philosopher, but he's the type of philosopher that should be easily recognized. You do have a group of people, intellectual in nature, who believe firmly in the idea of an ultimate centralized authority such that other people have no rights. Now, we would recognize this as communism, socialism, but there's another one that everybody forgets about. It's called fascism, okay? Fascism thinks along the same lines. There is actually a community of fascist philosophers. You can find them. They talk among themselves, but it's there for everybody else to see, about taking rights away and creating an all-powerful government. That's their thinking. It's a group of people who think this is a great idea. Chuck Yarvin is a part of that, even though he won't put on the label fascism. It's okay. So you, the dear audience, needs to do some homework on dark enlightenment and techno-feudalism and be ready to speak out against it, because it is certainly a complete and utter violation of everything this nation stands for. Now, there's one other thing I want to throw out here. Excuse me. Somebody made the suggestion, and I tend to agree, is this a manufactured controversy, okay? Was this all sort of pre-planned and staged just to get people upset? Now, I'm willing to suggest that there's a possibility. Hold on a moment. Okay, as I have said before to my dear audience, at times like these, you need to stop, look at an event like this, and ask yourself the following question. Why now? Why is this happening now? When you ask that question, the next thing you need to do is, quote, look around the room. Okay, so let's look around the room here a second. Oh, wait, look what I found here. It's a $25 million fine to be paid by Apple for discriminatory hiring practices for IT people. Oh, gee, you think that might be related to H-1B? That's entirely possible. And then, oh, wait a second, I found another one right here. It's a company called Cognizant. They were in the news a week or so ago because a defendant on the stand admitted, about $200 million is what the plaintiffs are looking for from Cognizant, admitted that they were unfair, for lack of a better term, in assuming that H-1B visa applicants are better than American IT people. That was an admission, okay? All right. These two events happen within a week of each other, which happened within a week of Elon Musk coming out with this stuff. All right, so are they trying to divert? Are they trying to confuse? I don't have a good answer for this, but the timing of it certainly makes me wonder. All right, so the call for action is clear. I just need to say a couple other things about this. According to the federal government, they have a lottery system, if you will, of 85,000 people to come in under the H-1B visa system. However, there are exemptions. There are exceptions. There are special cases, all right? And the employers look for all this cheap labor, exploit these to the fullest. So based upon a current best estimate, under H-1B and other variations, you have a number of people coming into this country who really shouldn't be here. And it gets even better, ladies and gentlemen. There's more. That's right, there's more. It's called Options for Professional Training, OPT. It's another fine little piece of crap. So the way it works, Canada takes advantage of this. Canada has its fair share of diploma mills, and those graduates find their way to America to work under the OPT program. And work is a term used loosely here. But I just want to share one factoid about this. This whole thing is a mess, okay? H-1B visa is just one part of it. Here's the other part. People who went to Canada to study went from 275,000 in 2012 to 914,000 in 2023. By contrast, America, a country about 10 times larger than Canada, went from 380,000 to 650,000 students in the same period. Okay, adjusted for population, Canada admits 19 times more foreign students to the US. Let me say that again for emphasis. Canada, on a proportional basis, admits 19 times more foreign students. Do you think that a country 1/10 the size of America is able to absorb all those people into their system for working? The answer is no. They come across the border to America under the OPT program. It is a scam. Every bit as big and disgusting as H-1B visa. Okay? It has to end. It has to end. All right, I'm running out of time and I got to move on. All right, what else want to come on here? Let's see. All right, just a quick note. The mainstream media continues to do no one a service. So you had this MSNBC piece on the weekend show where all they could do was talk about racism in various forms. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, also it should be noticed that President Trump did goof a little bit. When he was saying nice things about H-1B, he didn't realize he was really talking about H-2B, which is for gardeners and cooks and cleaners. All right, meantime, yes, I'm going to hold it up. I'm not happy about this, but here it is, okay? Yep. All right. There are conservatives who will continue to fight this. I mean, we've seen Mr. Johnson act like a spineless little worm, and now people are going to vote for him. What are we supposed to expect to accomplish? All right. Here you go. Take note of that one. All right. There have been blogs in China where they're actively calling for invading Manchuria. All right. Are you paying attention? Invading Manchuria. That's war against your supposed friend, Putin. All right, I just held this up. It's another piece of information. I have no idea if it's true or not. But, you know, the back and forth, the information war. Then the question is asked, can Ukraine face another year of war? I think the short answer is yes, okay? Because you have to remember that a lot of other countries in NATO are not happy with Russia, and they're going to do whatever they can to prop them up. Meantime, with respect to the economy, there are two things we need to keep in mind here that you're aware of. Okay, in America, credit card debt, personal credit card debt is now well over $1 trillion and climbing, okay? That's a lot of debt. And guess what? The defaults are increasing as well. All right, so you can look at unemployment and say things are holding steady, but at the same time, this is happening. So that is a warning, okay? The other was a report from the manufacturing index, PMI, of manufacturing contraction. We don't know how bad the contraction will be. We've seen worse, actually, but this is something that they've mentioned. Okay, so there's that. Okay, I came across several pieces where the universities seem to be having some serious problems, okay? Ohio State pours $13 million into DEI. Brown University faces a $46 million deficit, and a report on the colleges that are about to go out of business. Okay, I don't have any problem lumping all of these issues under one thing. Administration's out of control. As we know, the headcounts for administrators in these colleges has been growing faster and faster, and no one's doing anything about it, all right? We're going to pay the price for it. It's all bad. Just mentioned there already. The directed beam energy weapons that people in consulates around the world said that they were subjected to. Now you have a CIA whistleblower who's come forward about this, but you still have people saying that it's a bunch of bunk. All right, so we put up this story. It's there for you to consider. Now this is big. This one should annoy everybody. Everybody. So, courtesy of Brownstone Institute, shout out to Brownstone Institute by Peter St. Onge. Excuse me, a study at Auburn University was done to show that every single regulator, that would be a federal regulator, destroys fully 138 private sector jobs every year. One regulator. We have 300,000 of them. So multiply 138 times 300,000, and you'll have a sense of how bad this problem is. So we put it up, have a read, check it out. I want to remind you again about Tina Peters. So the Dallas Patriots group started a yellow ribbon campaign for Tina. All right, so we encourage you to check it out. And remember to go to tinapeters.us. And now my bonus, the one thing I got to throw in here, we know there are a lot of deep state actors. A bunch, all right? And I'm kind of curious as well, who are they really? Don't worry. Don't worry. They're going to reveal themselves. They're going to drop trow, and you're going to know exactly who they are. Well, here's one of them. Okay, William Webster, all right? He used to serve in the Jimmy Carter and Ronald Reagan administration in the capacity with the CIA and the FBI. So he's come out against Tulsi. All right, so, well, thank you, Mr. Webster. We now know that you, too, are a part of the deep state. It's a whole bunch of them. Just wanted to share that with you. Until then, see you guys next week.
Wait, before we go.
Yes.
It's the new year. We're coming up to a new year. So
Oh, yeah.
you got to give them a toast or something.
All right, all right. Sorry. To 2025 and fixing the mess. Amen.